That's weird.
We're on mute. There we go. Let's restart.
You said a lot of it was fire and you were spitting, so you're just gonna just have to like restart all that with the same amount of energy all over again.
Okay, welcome everybody to Black Friday at AppSumo. You're going to be joined by my friends, my favorite founders, and you're going to see a lot of live demos of some amazing tools, and you're going to be able to get them at a wonderful price on AppSumo. So over the next 8 days, you're going to be seeing live demos. We've got live training coming up. We've got a couple of surprises and giveaways as well, so stay tuned for that. Today, we've got 2 founders that aren't actually on AppSumo at the moment, but are 2 of my favorite founders and 2 of my favorite friends. Up first is SA Grant, one of the co-hosts of this event, who's going to be joining me for today and tomorrow, and we're going to be doing something very special in the moment. But SA, please introduce yourself, and how do you know me and how do you know AppSumo?
Well, I think that's the point of this entire story is that we found each other indirectly through one of my AppSumo deals when you were actually like mentoring people on how to load up into AppSumo, which was roughly about 2 years ago. And then, come to find out, we both knew a fellow podcaster, which is who the other person you're talking about. And it was just everything just clicked and made perfect sense from that point on.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful 2 years, and this event is a celebration of my love for AppSumo, for the people that I've met on my journey, and for all the amazing tools and founders that I've met along the way. So I guess we got a little bit of a surprise, a gift from AppSumo for us, and we've both got it, so let's share it. Thank you, AppSumo. We love you. We love you lots. Only a select few of you will get these, so we're going to be sharing the full unboxing experience with you so that you can feel like you're a part of the celebration with us. For everybody who's tuning in from YouTube or inside Podcast Launch community or any of the other channels that it's been streaming to at the moment, enjoy the ride. It's going to be absolutely fun. And so do you want to kickstart by... I've never done an unboxing experience before, so you'll have to run through what we do here.
Yeah, I mean, I think first we should talk about the packaging. I mean, like the fact that they spent the time and effort into kind of remodeling the original Windows 98 box, but they kind of updated it to the AppSumo 2023. Instead of the Windows logo, it's the good old AppSumo taco. So I think it's definitely a cool concept, and the fact that it's not a small box either. It's a pretty decent sized box.
Yeah, about the same size as my head, but a bit bigger.
Yeah. So like, let's just crack it open and like, maybe we should do like the surprise, like just peek in there and then
Okay,
see what's going on.
do it.
So I could kind of open it up, which is pretty cool. It printed both sides.
I don't know if you've seen this already, but you see the QR code.
Yes.
Noah greeting. Maybe I'll listen to that later. Or
yeah, probably definitely interesting. I mean, the fact that QR codes is one of those things that kind of faded to black and it came back 100-fold. So I'm definitely happy to see that.
Okay, here we go.
Card in here as well.
What does this say? The
fall.
90s called. Yes, they want their prices back. And this Black Friday, we're delivering AppSumo's biggest sale of the year is a throwback party. Woo! With lifetime deals, epic giveaways, and a celebration of all tech, new and old. Okay, so we've got a link tap because networking with paper business cards is so yesterday, right? So yesterday.
So that's the first thing that was in your box?
Yeah, what do you have?
The first thing that was in my box just kind of goes to my brand. It's a hat.
Oh yeah, I've got a hat here right at the top. That was on the top too.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, I love the icon of the taco.
Check this out. Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing an AppSumo top now with love, peace, and startups.
Very cool. Yeah. All right, what else you got next?
What do I have next? I'm going to do some digging. All right. We have an AppSumo bag.
Yes.
Cool.
Very cool. Like a fanny pack almost.
Yeah. Does it say something about that? Here we go. We've got
Probably listed.
crossbody bag.
Yes.
Alternative to having your keys dig a hole in your pocket. That's
Facts.
funny.
I think the technology wise, the aspect of the tap is definitely very cool. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, AppSumo is software, but it's also about general networking. If you really think about it.
Yeah. I mean, what have I done over the last 2 years? I've networked like crazy because of AppSumo. So
100%. 100%. So I'm definitely happy that they put that in there. It just kind of makes passing the content of digital business cards versus traditional business cards a lot easier for sure.
And then it looks like I have only one more thing here. Do you have this?
Nope.
You
That's all
don't
you,
have
bro.
that. Oh, right. That's crazy. So you don't have one of these?
I don't. That's all you.
All
What is it?
right. It wasn't on the
The
it
list.
wasn't on this slip, so I was thinking, oh, okay, this must be an extra. Casio. Let's see what this is.
Casio sounds like a watch to me.
Rolex watch, golden watch. What?
It'd be cool if it was a taco watch.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. This is. I'm not actually wearing a watch at the moment. I mean, I do have one, but it's just not being worn at the moment. It is a Casio Data Bank watch, but it looks pretty damn cool. It's from the 90s.
I'm surprised it doesn't have like the calculator. Like the 90s was all about like the
Actually,
calculator on top of the actual watch.
yeah, it does. It has 8-digit calculator,
Mm.
8-digit dual time. I'm going to go swimming tomorrow, so this will be perfect. Yeah, that's crazy that it's got a calculator.
Yes.
Let's see if we
Very
can
90s.
get a close up. Looks like an Apple Watch from this distance because you can't see the buttons. But yeah, thank you, AppSumo.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely
you.
appreciate it. Very cool.
What a surprise.
Yes.
So maybe I won't wear a hat right now, but I'm excited to hear what the Noah greeting is. I'm curious.
Yes. Probably more than likely it'll be hilarious because I mean he does say some stuff that kind of just has you laughing on the floor on a regular basis. So
Or something. Maybe it's business advice. We all need business advice. Okay, so why did you get a box?
well, I think all of us who are essentially working with AppSumo to help them promote and market, I guess the best way to look at it is becoming an ambassador, which was essentially through you. I mean, that's the kind of thing about like networking. You never know where these paths are going to end up. And, you know, I've always been an AppSumo consumer and I loved like their product and their brand. And then so happened that, you know, I became an ambassador through our friendship.
Yeah. When they said you can. So at first in June, I was invited to be an ambassador, and then I was invited to invite people. And I thought, okay, well, I definitely want to invite you because you have, I don't know, bought 400 plus deals on AppSumo. So it only makes sense. And you actually, what you're doing about them is you're using them well and every day. And every time you show me a new tool or just you're behind the scenes, I go, whoa, was that a deal on AppSumo? Yes, it was.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So what are your favorite deals at the moment, and is it any that are currently on AppSumo?
I would start with well the past tense Rumble Studio that's been rebranded to Spoken, and I was sitting down thinking about like why did they rebrand, and honestly thinking about the new title of Spoken, I think it fits the brand completely because it kind of stretches the vision of it not just being an audio studio. It's way more robust than just that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're going to have a look at it now. Here we go. Can you see my screen?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Great.
definitely can see
So
it.
Spoken, formerly Rumble Studio, what conducts remote interviews and produces podcasts in a snap. Have you used the Rumble Studio?
Yeah. Actually, you know, I did a test run with it, so I definitely understand the philosophy behind it, and I think there's more than one case study for it. I mean, think of it from asynchronistic interviews. At one point in time, you had corporate America, and at scale, they wanted to do general interviews, and they would set up pre-recordings of HR member, and they would ask general questions, and then the interviewee would then respond with general questions, and then it would send them an email. Take that. And amplify it. So now you can do a podcast. You can ask general information based questions. The interviewee could then respond, and then Rumble Studios magic behind the scenes combines your questions with their answers and makes a seamless single track of audio that then you can use for a podcast. And again, that's just one variable of what it does.
Yeah, one use case. Like I was thinking the other day is somebody asked me on LinkedIn, and I want to give him a shout out, Mr. Chamberlain. I think it might be Alex Chamberlain. He was doing market research, and I'm still yet to help him with that. But this would be a great Rumble Studio would be great for podcasting, but also for collecting market research from a bunch of different people or experts. So I love that. Maybe Rumble Studio could be a great thing for him, especially if he might want to turn that market research into a podcast.
Yeah, and I think other case scenarios that we can kind of talk about. A prime example, going back to like the general interview. Imagine onboarding process. Let's say if you have a company and you want to onboard, let's say 15 employees, but you also want to get live feedback. It's a perfect platform to be able to do that, which essentially is not necessarily podcasting, but the format of the content of the audio is essentially the same. So think of it from standpoint, you may have 20 new interns starting, and having all these interns go through this onboarding process by answering these questions, it makes it so much easier for someone to actually onboard a lot of people without having to sit down and do them one at a time.
Yeah, 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 because it's a repeatable process. Well, depending on what the role is, but um, yeah, I can see it being really helpful for onboarding and even just in interviews.
Yeah, yeah. And I think for the long term scale, like legacy building, right? I mean, imagine if you had an opportunity to do a asynchronistic episode with a grandparent, right? So they have this content up there and they're asking you questions and you respond back, and it's kind of a creative, out of the box way of thinking about it. But essentially, you kind of create these new video contexts of ancestors that have passed away by leaving behind something like this for the next generation.
Yeah, well, I know Mike shared his Rumble Studio link with us for people that would want to be on Average Joe Finances podcast, and you fill out the series of questions and then you answer it. I really want to give it a go, so I'm definitely going to get the deal. And what was it? What was the price for it? $69 for the tier one, um, and that's one seat, 10 exportable hours per month. That's
Correct.
not too. That's not too bad.
It's not too bad. I mean, the middle seat, I think, is the original deal that I had bought, which is the 50 hours. And now that they have the 500 hours, it's kind of like if you're thinking about scaling anything, you might as well go for the glitz and glamour and get the biggest package you possibly can. Because again, it's a lifetime deal. So think about it from if you end up having 20 podcasts, a podcast network, and then you could have all this asynchronous content being built. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah, so powerful, and yeah, a lot of people. And I had a couple of messages from friends today recommending what tools I should get during Black Friday.
Mhm.
Find out, just look on AppSumo and have a look yourself, but also um, buy for the future.
Always.
Don't buy for just the need now. To think about how much content you're going to produce in the future. How many hours are you going to stream online in 5 years' time if you continue at this rate? Maybe I'll do one event a month. No, I don't think my health like that, but you got to think for the future. So maybe Rumble Studio will never come back to AppSumo, or maybe it will come back in a few years' time. But if it ends now, uh, tier one might not get you what you want in 10 years' time. So that's my advice for
Yeah.
thinking about Black Friday this year.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with that. Because I mean, the problem is if you buy shorthanded and then if you have to later on convert to a monthly renewable, well, think, let's say if you're spending $30 a month, that's $360 annually times how many years you're going to use it. So if you're only going to be able to spend $300 one time and be able to use it for 10 years, that's like a no brainer. And I wish people would kind of just do the numbers and think about it from that viewpoint.
Yeah, and then also going back to what David said, David Kelly from AppSumo Original said in June, go back to the point of buying only the tools that you need, unless you're like SA Grant or somebody else. Buy it in case it gets big and explodes, just like one of the tools that you're going to see today, which is currently not on AppSumo. So I just want to give a shout out to a couple of the tools that are on AppSumo right now. So we got Big View
Yeah,
joined us for Sumo Day, and they're going to be featuring on the podcast, which is called Tech of the Future. So podcast launch agency presents Tech of the Future with Black Friday. That's with AppSumo. That is on Spotify, everybody. And
so
all
before
other
you move
platforms.
forward, did you get a chance to test out Big View? Have you
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've used it for a couple of videos for Cap Show, and a couple of myself as well. So I need a lot more practice with the teleprompter, because it really is hard to get used to it first. I've
Mhm.
always wanted to look at somebody in the face, but Big View is not for this kind of situation. It's for brand building videos, or creating content for different reasons. So I think I just need to have the intention in mind that this is for YouTube or for a product demo or a sales video, and not for restreaming. And just it just takes practice, just like anything does. So that's what I'm going to put it down to.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, it was more so the fact that it was mobile, right? I mean, you hear about prompters, and it's usually like this big, grandiose thing in front of a camera. But the fact that you can kind of just roll it into your actual iPhone, and all that content is in there, and you can kind of even do basic editing in it, it makes it it's a supreme tool. It's a tool that ideally, if you're doing any video content on your cell phone, like that's a requirement. You got to have this tool.
Yeah, you've got to have it. And yeah, they've so basically what it is you decide who you want to create the video for and what kind of give it some keywords, and the Big View will generate the script for you with their AI, because it's AI powered personal video studio. That's what it is. And then you change the pace of the teleprompter. You record it by following the teleprompter, edit it inside of Big View, publish it to as many platforms as you want. That's a simplified version. I know it can do so much more than that, but that's just a quick overview.
What else you got in there? 'Cause I mean, there's a lot of deals out there, but
Yes.
picking the best deals is kind of like
Yeah, it's difficult.
it
What else
is.
we got?
Go ahead.
Sessions.
Haven't used that one.
You
Let's talk
haven't used that yet. Yeah, so Sessions are joining us for a private webinar. So that will be next week, Monday or Tuesday, and they're an alternative to Zoom. But it's more than that. And when I did the live demo with them, a demo with their team, I was amazed at how powerful it is. So you can do events, workshops, webinars, just like you would Zoom. And they're probably going to hate me for saying Zoom every now and then, but have a look at Sessions on AppSumo. What you'll see it in the live demo, but instead of, if I shared my screen with you now, you would see all my tabs open. You would see all my bookmarks. And if some of them are private or confidential, then I'm sharing all my secrets or but with Sessions, you share within Sessions. If you want to share your screen, it shares within Session. You don't have to share the tabs and you can set it up internally. You can also create an agenda, which you can pull from whenever you want. And then you can click a button that would summarize the entire call for you and send it to all the participants. And then you can follow up with them directly during the Sessions call, which is pretty damn cool. There's a lot of other features, but those are the key features that I can remember, which I really liked, and that's why I've got tier 2 of Sessions.
So the other thing too, I'm just looking at like the kind of like when I break down these deals to kind of figure out like why am I going to look at it, and I always try to compare it to the alternative. So if you're looking at like AppSumo, there's a section in there that kind of really makes it easy for you to do a direct comparison. So it'll say alternate to X, Y, and Z. So this one is alternate to Zoom, um, Google Meetup, and so forth. So the first thing I'm going to do is then look at Zoom to say, okay, well, how much will I get from Zoom if I'm only going to spend $20 a month? Like, what are the limitations? Like, can I get unlimited anything? Can I get team members? Can I get how many participants? And I kind of look at the license tiers and break that down in comparison and say, okay, if I'm going to spend $20 at Zoom times 12 months, that's X amount, right? So then I kind of just say that's 240. By default, I'm going to jump to tier three because that kind of puts me at the same price range, but it's going to give me way more benefits than if I were to stay with Zoom, for example.
Yeah, I believe it. I think the pro version for Zoom is $210, so $239 for the tier three.
One time,
Uh,
one time purchase.
one time fee. Yeah, uh, don't forget about that. Oh, they've got tier four and tier five as well. What does
Yeah,
tier five look like? Oh,
unlimited everything,
849,
right?
unlimited everything.
Yeah,
Pay
1,000.
pay what you can afford, but also pay for the future.
Yeah.
Uh, and just but if you're paying for Zoom, stop paying for it because you're paying for it monthly or yearly, and you can get lifetime deals on AppSumo. So
So I
yeah,
guess the thing
this
we
also does. This is similar to what you already have, which is Book Like a Boss,
mm,
or if you have TidyCal, because this also um, makes Calendly or TidyCal redundant.
mm. And where does it stand as far as like the integrations? I mean, because I think that's why people are
Ooh,
hooked on Zoom, right? So I mean, Zoom kind of integrates with everything. Is that on their roadmap?
I would, yeah, I think they already have some. Let me share another screen so that we can actually see the website.
Cool.
Here we go. So here we
Yeah, they do
go.
have integrations. Integrates to Google,
They do
Notion, Office, Canva. Huh.
bookings,
Learn
meetings,
something
webinars,
new every day.
agendas, transcripts,
So it integrates into
onboarding, webinars.
Notions. Oh hell yeah. Town halls.
I'll
Yeah.
see if I can scroll down to see if they've got.
Oh, they're coming out the box swinging.
They are coming out the box. They were on AppSumo a little while ago, and they've come back because they perform really well. So
Yeah.
um, where could you see the integrations?
It was on AppSumo's main
Okay,
page next to all alternatives and best for.
here we go. I have got the website up. Integrate your tool stack, Miro, there's Figma, Canva projects.
Mm.
You can
Google
also
Drive.
collaborate with your team, do polls. It's even better than Zoom, way better.
Yeah, yeah. It's more. It sounds like it's more robust, and especially if they have like Zap integrations or Papley integrations. Then it's like just really no limitations. It's
Yeah,
it's
and let me get the sessions link up um, because we do have a webinar with them. So if you did want to have your uh, grab,
yeah.
if you did want to grab sessions and then join us for the webinar, that is on Monday, November the 27th, at 12:30 p.m. CST time. So
So
that's
yeah.
with Adrian from the team. We're going to be going through. Oh, here we go. Is
Yeah. So somebody in the chat brought up something about missing letter, which is if you ever use missing letter is one of those platforms that it's such a powerful tool if you understand how to leverage it. And to kind of give you a little definition of what missing letter is, if you understand RSS feeds or if you have RSS syndication, which podcasts are, which blogs are, Shopify, YouTube, and then you have an environment that can take that RSS feed and then schedule it out, but then it can create content on that information that's coming in. So it's repurposing and recreating content on demand on the fly, and you can kind of apply it to templates. That's like the nerdy definition of missing letter, but it's such a powerful tool.
Jeez. Yeah, I think it's Tanesh that. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you hear me? Yeah,
yeah,
I
I can
think
hear
it's Tanesh that may have been asking about the missing letter. So turn
you. Mm.
existing content into social media posts and automate scheduling. Yeah. Oh, that's that. Oh, I've missed it. Oh, this deal
Oh,
isn't available. Ah,
and that's the second time they were in the store. I mean, I remember back maybe about 2 years ago was the first time because I got it the first time and I bought like the unlimited everything. I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna use it for right now, but today I definitely use it all day, every day. So it's a beautiful thing.
well, could you show us your account? I mean, that's probably too
Let me
cheeky.
see if I can pull it up real quick. It's because it's so ran on autopilot that I barely ever log into it. To be honest with you, it's kind of just
Yeah,
running behind the scenes.
yeah. I would love to just pay you for your time to see your full workflow and watch it on automation, because I know you release content every single day and lots of it. Just to see, I love seeing more behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I mean, missing letter. It's 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 such a robust platform. I don't even know if we could do it any justice by just showing like my back end, but it's think about it from a standpoint, you can kind of create content based upon what's already out there. Then you can create campaigns. Then it has a scheduler. It also has analytics, so it kind of tells you how that campaign has done and on what platform, what did it do, and what's the conversions on that platform. And again, all of it is being created based upon RSS feeds. So once you set it, technically you can kind of forget it. Like I've forgotten about it, but I know it's running in the background. Only time I
Yeah,
look at it if I get a notification if one of the API connections breaks.
yeah. That's the only active work you do, is making sure all the integrations are connected. But everything other than that, you're relaxing, and that's why you've got free time today to help me, and tomorrow to help me with the event. So I appreciate you. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday, so I appreciate you for being here and supporting me on this, um,
Yeah.
on the next event, and for supporting the podcast launch community as well, with all the branding and growth tips you give uh, weekly.
No, I definitely appreciate that, man. That's the least I could do. I mean, considering that, I guess when you look at it from the standpoint of great communities, great people, you always want to give back and kind of see more people grow and everyone grows together collectively. And I think that's what AppSumo really represents. It's kind of like if you don't have a large budget, at least you could have some kind of capital to at least get on something to help grow into those larger capitals. And that's what I really see AppSumo doing, both for the founders and for the individuals using their platforms.
Yeah, it, even just the AppSumo originals. For
Oh,
for me, I
yeah.
think my course 7-day podcast launch challenge is selling on AppSumo at the moment. That's a little plug, but I only recommend 7 tools.
Mm,
Uh, you don't need 70 tools. You just need a couple, and some of them are SendFox, TidyCal. They're
mm.
Instead of getting something that's got excessive features and functionality, when you're starting out, SendFox and TidyCal is all you need.
I think
Not
even down
all
the
you
road,
need.
SendFox is so simplistic. And again, you can kind of set it and forget it. You can kind of definitely connect that to your blogs, and it automatically then create an actual email for you. Part of what I've done on my end is I connected my podcast to it, and it keeps adding a new podcast episode to a laundry list of all my campaigns. So my campaign gets bigger every single time I release episode. And when somebody comes into that pipeline through an opt-in, then they can get every single email of every single episode week to week. And again, that's all done on autopilot.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite. I'll never stop using SemFox. Um, I, I I've tried the smart campaigns a couple of times,
Oh,
but most recently they haven't come together for me. I don't know. There might be a bug or something, but um, I have used them before, and it makes sense. You upload or publish your podcast episode, and it already crafts an email for you. You just have to schedule it and send it out. Uh,
yep.
so what's scrolling on the bottom here is join AppSumo Plus for an extra 10% off this Black Friday. You get 10% off on AppSumo right now for Black Friday. That's a given for the
Mhm.
Black Friday sale. But if you want an additional 10% off, then AppSumo Plus is the way forward. I'm an AppSumo Plus member, SA Grant is to it just makes sense. It's a subscription for a year. I think it's $99. You get 10% off everything all the time, and
Mhm.
then it kind of pays for itself in the savings you get. Plus, you get all of the AppSumo original tools for free, extended access to tools, and you get to participate in events
Yeah. So like prime
inside that private
example,
community.
I'm looking at AppSumo right now, and I just threw sessions in my cart. I threw the basic level sessions. That's $69. Now I get the 10% off the Black Friday deal, and then I get the bonus of the plus membership savings. So the irony is, instead of me spending $69 for that platform, it just cost me $55. Which, if you look at it at scale, that's a pretty significant cost savings for something that you're gonna have lifetime access to.
Yeah, it's an and I think what we got to point out as well is sometimes as an ambassador, if we know we're going to promote that tool, AppSumo gives us a couple of tools, but they don't give us all of them.
Mhm,
So I think over the last few days, I bought SEOcrawl for my SEO because that
mhm,
needs work. Chopcast because I definitely need to repurpose all my live stream events.
mhm.
What else did I get? Uh,
Well, I'm happy you brought up Chopcast. I mean, that platform is such a godsend for so many people that are scratching their heads on what to do with their video content and how to repurpose the video content. So that I mean, can you break that platform down a little bit for the listener?
Yeah, I have. I am using it tomorrow because Kareem from Chopcast is joining us tomorrow. So in the morning, I'm going to be going through it as much as possible,
Mm,
and then we do a live demo, and then I can start to repurpose my content. So what I believe it does is you upload your long form piece of content, and then it already identifies where your video needs to be cut and cuts it to size. So if you want it for a reel, or if you wanted it for a TikTok, or you wanted it for a normal horizontal video, then it would clip it for you. And I'm not completely sure if it publishes as well, but if it does, great.
it does. It does. Yeah, I could add a little bit to that because I think in my 400 deals, that's definitely one of my deals that I have. I think the beautiful thing about Chopcast, it allows you to then connect directly to YouTube. So essentially, you can kind of just pull your YouTube videos directly from YouTube into a digital platform, and then what it does, it renders out this playlist. So after you import the video in, it's going to render out 10 clips, and the 10 clips sits in your Chopcast account as an actual playlist that kind of says, okay, through the AI, it's picking the key points of the video that makes the most sense. And then you could edit each one of those clips as well. You could download them all together, or then you can kind of syndicate them back up to YouTube as well. So it's definitely a solid platform.
Yeah, it's and it was really successful this year. So you got to bring on the founders if they've got time and they want to spend their time with us and demo their product. Is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
So in the next half an hour or so, we got our first founder coming up to demo his product, and it was not on AppSumo, but we wish it was, and it will come back soon, hopefully. Uh, but tomorrow we have for you VBout, Chopcast, a collab writing which was on AppSumo, Hello Scribe, which is on AppSumo. So out of 3 of the 4 deals that you're going to see tomorrow, they are all live. And collab writing is just one of my favorite tools for researching. So yeah, that's a sneak peek of what's going to happen tomorrow.
Very cool. You know what I just thought about with like the whole Chopcast? I mean, I think the max end they had 1,200 minutes. Like, I want you to think about the scale of like 1,200 minutes. Like, how much time is that? Like, how much? Like, most people probably don't even have 1,200 minutes worth of video inside their YouTube channel. If you collective, so I mean, imagine having 1,200 minutes of AI editing every month.
Every month.
Every month. Every month. It's just like I mean, I'm sitting here like trying to like concept that's a lot of damn content. Like, I mean, you have to be putting out so much different content to even get to that point. But if you again the price to get it, it only makes sense because if you decide to go into networking or like TV networking and you have more than one show for your podcast, then that's when the 1,200 is going to come into play.
And also, if you've got an agency or you feel like, oh, I could earn an additional income stream, then you can always sell that as a service and use your Chopcast limits to create that for you. But
Correct.
yeah, so you could have onboard 2 clients or 3 clients and run all their content marketing for them with some of the tools.
Yep.
Yeah, so I definitely don't think about AppSumo just for you. Think about how it's going to help your community or your future clients.
Yep.
I don't know how many entrepreneurs AppSumo has created, but they've definitely created one. One definitely. SA Grant, you were before AppSumo.
Yeah, I think it's multiple generations, right? It's not just like, again, you have the founders that are selling their particular new platforms, and then you have the business owner or the entrepreneur on the outside then buying it. And to your point, there's a whole nother generation of saying, okay, I can buy something at scale and then resell my service through this platform. That's a whole nother generation of entrepreneurs that, somebody probably never would have even thought about until they found AppSumo.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny, Phil. The story with Phil, who will be joining us in a little bit, is uh, he introduced me to AppSumo, and then when AppSumo reached out to do a podcast with me on my podcast,
Mm.
I said, "Do you know what AppSumo is?" I did. I asked Phil, "Do you know what AppSumo is? Shall I accept them for an interview on my podcast?" And he said, "Yeah,
Yes.
say yes. Just say yes. Get it done." And never in a million years did I think I'd be talking about AppSumo 2 years later on a podcast, working with them really closely, doing events like this. So,
Yeah.
thanks to Phil, I know about AppSumo. Thanks to working at AppSumo, I met you, and
It's,
that
it's,
it's
it's funny how
just
that works.
crazy journey.
Yeah, it's funny how it works. I mean, I remember my first time when I found out about AppSumo was through a friend of mine that I went to high school with. His name was Carlos, and he would just post these random little deals, and I would click on them, and obviously it would activate his cookie, and he would get kickback, right? But for me, it was more so like, wait a minute, like there's lifetime deals. I don't have to pay monthly subscriptions, and then I became an addict, like to say the least. It's like I have an IV with AppSumo in my arm, pumping it in and day out.
uh, I don't even want to look at your account and see what the full expense was, but
No,
not an expense, it's an investment.
it is. It
Um,
is 100%.
it's, I know we do have a couple of tools that are no longer lifetime deals,
Mm.
so you would have to pay a monthly to have access to them. But those tools are definitely worth recommending or in using. I mean, yeah, I would definitely use them. But it's I pay monthly for my phone. I pay monthly for gym membership.
Mhm.
But try to limit your monthly subscription or on tools to run your business.
Oh,
Um,
to be honest with you, if I ran the numbers one time and it came up to several $1,000s per month if I didn't have all the lifetime deals that I have access to. So imagine, like, let's say if I was making $20,000 per month and I'm putting out 10,000 per month for just software, and that's not even talking about employees, that's not talking about general overhead, that's not talking about hardware. Like, I would be upside down completely. Even though like you can kind of make more money, why the hell would I want to spend that much money to run operations?
yeah, yeah, it's a complete. Uh, and again, with the podcasting, podcasting doesn't need to be expensive. You can start on a very small budget. Use AppSumo tools to get started, um, and then it really doesn't cost that much to keep it going because you've already purchased the lifetime deals, all the tools you need. Uh, what else do you need to pay for? The internet.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still waiting to see that become a lifetime deal, maybe one day.
Yeah, one day. So um, let me see. What other tools we have? We have a Mail joining us. Have you used a Mail before?
I think when they first came on, I had access. I think it was probably a free deal at one time before it became an actual paid deal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I haven't used it, but we will be meeting the team, and they'll be doing a demo with us. during this event. So, so for those of you who have not seen what's happening on the website, I will share my screen so you can see what's happening. So the event currently starts in 3 hours. I mean, we're already running, so that's the time is incorrect. So you'll be meeting the team behind AppSumo, AccompanMail, all these other tools. Our podcast is live, which is fantastic. This is just a bonus little extra. The event is going to be clipped into smaller episodes so you can get exactly what you need and learn a little bit more about the founders. If you know you're going to spend more than $99 in a year with AppSumo, get an extra 10% off with AppSumo Plus, and then here we are. This is all that's going to be happening over the next few days until November the 30th. And we've got a really special lineup for you. And then all the tools are at the bottom if you want to go and grab them. So that's great.
Very cool.
I am really excited. Okay, so we are waiting for Phil.
It's like you're still sharing your Black Sumo Friday deal. There we go.
There we go. Could you see my other screen or not?
No. Only thing we saw your black. I was just like, wait a minute, it's still the same screen, but yeah, I think just
yeah, they don't need to see it. Here we go. This is the event page. So if you want to get more information, listen to the podcast, sign up for AppSumo Plus, watch live, see the lineup, and see the tools. Then you can go to podcastlaunchagency.com/Black Friday. There you go. Awesome.
cool.
Let's see where Phil is.
The birthday boy himself.
The birthday boy from last week, was it?
Yeah. I mean, it's still, which is
still
pretty
is.
cool. Yeah, still, he's so close to being a Sagittarius, but I can't fault him for being a Scorpio.
I'm a Virgo, so I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Every time I say I'm a Virgo, people run away. So
Well, they made a whole TV show about Virgos, which was definitely kind of interesting. So
why?
it was kind of more sci-fi-ish than anything else. I think it was a Prime original. It was crazy. I didn't even want to get into it. But when you get a chance, you just want to look it up on Prime, and you'll scratch your head. It's definitely entertaining, to say the least.
Okay, but is it a good thing to be a Virgo or not?
I think every zodiac sign potentially there's good things, and I think there's people take ownership of their sign. So as long as you're good with it, then I mean you can't change it.
Yeah.
So
No, you can't change it. No. So if you're watching in the comments and you have a question for myself or SA Grant during this event, please just comment. Or if you have a question for the founder, make sure to comment as well, so we can get your questions answered and get you some more clarity before you go ahead and purchase a deal. Or if you want some advice, then you can ask for that, and we'll do our best to answer it during the event. So to recap, the event is running from now until November the 30th. We're going to have some live demos, hopefully a little bit of live comedy, some surprises, some giveaways, and this is day one, so we're just warming into it. So sit back, relax, have some fun, drink some coffee or tea.
I think one of the things that you brought up to kind of make sure that the person that's never used AppSumo can kind of understand like the credibility of it. You have a 60-day guarantee as well. So I'm not saying to buy it and return it, but keep in mind for any reason, if you decide that you don't want to use it, then you can return it within 60 days. So it's kind of one of those things. This is the best time to buy these opportunities because these opportunities are highly discounted, and get the opportunities that you really need and the ones that you think you need. And then, worst case scenario, I'm not saying to do it, but worst case scenario, you could return it within 60 days.
Yeah, that's on software, and some courses are non-refundable. But if you don't like it, just reach out to support@appsumo.com. They will give you a refund because it's part of the policy. So
yeah, and to make it easier than that, you can do it in the account now. Like literally, you can kind of take it and say you want a refund and deactivate it right then and there in the account without even having to contact support directly. So it makes it easier.
Yeah, I love it. I love AppSumo. So let's see. Does anybody have any questions? I can't see any questions right now. We got 2 people watching at the moment. So if those 2 people could say hello and ask us a question, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to answer the missing letter question, I mean, I'm not sure because I mean, they just came back for, I think that was the second round, like last 30 days. So if they do come back, it's probably not going to be this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, we will do our best to ask the AppSumo team
Mhm.
to bring it back before Christmas, but I doubt that will happen. It might have to be Sumo Day.
Yeah. Probably then, probably Sumo Day, maybe if any licenses were left over from the last round, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, do we? Oh, this is something that we need to remember to mention, and that is the giveaway.
Mm.
AppSumo is running a giveaway right now. And let me just check when it ends. It ends in 8 days. So that would be the end of Black Friday. And they are giving away 7 of these bad boys, Apple Vision Pros,
Mm.
and you can get your hands on them.
So are they leveraging their own platform to do that giveaway? Because that's another thing. Like going back to the AppSumo original deals, it's they have an entire getaway platform. So
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Shall we talk about King Sumo? I
yeah,
think we
yeah,
have to.
yeah, we definitely have to
We
because
have
I
to.
mean, it's one of those things. If you ever done a giveaway before, it makes it like foolproof. It makes it completely simple.
Yeah. King Sumo. I've used it many times for my own giveaways. It's also, if you're going to launch a podcast, make a lot of hype about it. Maybe to run a giveaway and generate some leads for your podcast. So that's a great idea. Um, it's really simple to use. I've not heard of Gleam before, but really, it's. I'm even going to show you behind the scenes because it would be helpful as well. So let's show you behind the scenes. And it's one of AppSumo's tools. So they've created it for you. So
So like,
these are
time we
the
definitely
couple of the 6 or 7 giveaways that we've done. They've been fairly successful. The 108 contestants was something that I heavily promoted, and the other ones they were just via email. So uh, that yeah, it was amazing to see how many entries and only 1 or 2 winners. And it's been great to get to know some of the giveaway winners more. And yeah, it's
yeah.
been really exciting. So what you would do, you create a new, give it a name, give it a description. How many winners do you want? Where's it going to? All the other details, the price value, how to cover it, image,
And number 4 is my favorite.
yeah, integrations with SendFox.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing because if you're having people opt in and like he just showed you like 3,000 people on one of these giveaways, it only makes sense to kind of put them into a lead magnet or into an email campaign once they opt in.
Yeah, exactly. And to give them the opportunity to increase their entries, increase their odds of winning, you can add an entry. So that could be uh, come back every day to collect daily entries, watch a YouTube video, add their phone number. These are all data. So you can send somebody a message and you can use their other tool, Shorty SMS,
Mhm.
or get them to subscribe to your YouTube or podcast. These are actions that help them increase their entries, increase their probability of winning.
Yep.
I love it. Unfortunately, we do not have a current giveaway on. I don't have a current giveaway on, but AppSumo is giving away um, 7 Apple Vision Pro. So I'll just get you the link.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what's the requirements for that? Because you always hear about these giveaways, and it's always in the fine print, like no purchase necessary. So like, just talk about like what do they have to do to actually get on board to actually become someone that could potentially win those goggles.
Oh, well, let's have a look. I
Yeah.
haven't even checked that. I haven't checked the blueprint. I just entered because I thought, oh, could win. So let's share that screen again. Okay, so you would need to enter your email. It's time to envision a better future for your business, literally. Enter email above for your chance to win Apple's first spatial computer. You can gain extra entries by sharing on social media. It doesn't seem like there's any terms and conditions. What is Black Friday? Are there special deals? Yes, there's a futuristic lineup. Plus, is there a giveaway? Yes, we're giving away to 7 lucky winners. Did you see any terms and conditions there? I don't think so.
No, I think that it's just standard, right? I mean, if you opt in, then you have a chance to win, which is essentially the simplest way of looking at it. There's no any hidden blah blah blah. It's simple.
No. Yeah,
It's
it's simple. Just add your email, then it will show. Share it to Twitter, get 3 more entries. Or if you share that with somebody else, you get an additional 3 per entry. Share to Facebook, these are easy. Share to LinkedIn, get another 3. Share via email, do it. And then shop on AppSumo. You can shop on AppSumo to get another 2. But you don't have to do that. You could just do all 4 of them and still have your 12 entries. So that's pretty damn cool. Make sure to check your email and confirm that you've registered to be eligible to win. But that's it.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
it.
I think if you don't register for that, I mean, obviously you're probably hearing voices, and in the case of hearing voices, you should listen to these voices, and they're telling you to go ahead and opt in, because could you imagine putting on those goggles and what that's going to look like if you have access to that product, one of the first generations? It's a game changer.
Especially when they're not even available in the UK yet. To be the first one in England to have one of them, wow.
Yeah.
Yes, please. But
Well, I'm saying if you got your hands on it, like every podcast for 6 months, you just have to have it on your head. It's just you just got to wear it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Get rid of this hat and put these goggles on all the time. Just sorry, I can't see you right now because I'm tuning in with these massive Apple. It's the future. Oh,
Mm.
I'm really. I'll be happy if somebody in the podcast launch community win. Maybe me, but I don't think it will. I'm not that lucky.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to the numbers, right? It's a numbers game. So, I mean, if you go back every day and you kind of get another ticket, and if you share it on multiple platforms, there's no reasons why you can't. Again, they're 7 people. The numbers are they're there for a reason. I don't even have to kind of like do the mathematical equation behind it, but get in there, share it, and get on that list to become someone that could potentially win.
Yeah. Have you entered?
See, I'm sitting here talking about it, and I'm just like, go ahead and put that link in there real quick, and I'm definitely gonna go ahead and trust me, you'll see it. Like once I click it, it'll be on. I'm like, get as many points as I possibly can in 24 hours.
So while we wait for Blaine to join us, I'm not going to mention the name of the company yet. I think SA Grant knows who Blaine is, but until he comes, let's talk about my own deal, which is a 7-day podcast launch challenge. Launch your interview-based podcast in 7 days. It can take longer for you if you want it to, but it's going to be a drip-fed course over 7 days, running through you the fundamentals of podcasting and learning from industry-leading experts in our network. Plus, we've got 7 guests waiting to be on your podcast, and lots more in the community as well. I believe this is the only podcast course on AppSumo at the moment. So all you'd have to do is search podcast on AppSumo, and it will come up with podcast launch strategy or podcast challenge. Yeah, no. Okay, so it's a 7-day podcast launch challenge. It's $23 for a lifetime. You get when the course gets upgraded, you just get access to that. But you're going to meet the founders of Resound, Castmagic, PodOps, some other tools. You're going to meet Pod News, Podbean, lots of different companies sharing with you some great advice to help you on your podcast journey. So this is for pure beginners who want to start an interview-based podcast and meet the founders of some really cool companies along the way. And we've had really good success on AppSumo at the moment. And what I love most about it is meeting people. It's amazing to meet aspiring podcasters, but also professionals that are working 40 hours a week but want to do something else on the side and have chosen podcasting as that something else. And it's nice to see that I'm continually receiving emails. New episode gone live. New episode. I always make sure that they add me on to their notification so that when they go live, I can see that they're being consistent with it and they've got an episode live. So big shout out to Dante. He's definitely somebody who continues to release episodes. Lisa, Chris, Sebu, some of the others. And what do you think of Podcast Launch Community, the Facebook group?
No, I think it's definitely something that's pretty kick-ass, considering that, you know, at one point in time you were considered to be a shy individual, right? And like now, like you're in front of everyone, you're leading the pack, and people are getting results. I mean, to your point about podcasting is a long-term game. It's not a short-term game to where you become rich and famous overnight. You have to be consistent for a period of time. You have to understand what your people are listening to, and you're definitely pointing them in the right direction, and you're leveraging your network by bringing other people like myself into that fold to then help educate what we do for our podcast with your community.
Yeah, I'm so happy that I invited you to be an admin, because that way I don't have to prompt you to say, can you write something inside the group? You have access to promote. Not well, you haven't actually promoted at all, but you can. But it's more giving value back to the
Yeah.
community, and talking about your lessons. And here we are, we're live. But we have new members joining all the time. This is what you get on top of your purchase for 7-day podcast launch challenge. You get a network of people that are some are industry leading experts, some are entrepreneurs, some are aspiring podcasters and professionals. It's a mix of people. And if you're unemployed or looking for a career change, then this again is a great community for you.
Yeah, I think podcasting is a great equalizer, and kind of the define what that means is you could find people through LinkedIn, sure. You could definitely go to networking groups, networking meetings, and be out in the real world. All that's great, but nothing is as the quality that you get from being a podcaster. That people are essentially hand delivered to you, and they come with a level of respect versus trying to figure out who you are and what you're about. Because again, all your content's already there, and all the BS that you usually have to go through to get close to someone, you kind of skip the line if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's more simple than I thought it was, and I think we overcomplicate the format of podcasting. But it's really just talking to people and then publishing that conversation to the world. You can jazz it up by editing it and making it sound great, but your first podcast doesn't have to be that great. It's just the first season is you getting used to the process of it. Please work on the editing. Please work on developing your marketing skills and finding out about new tools and meeting different people. Use that first year to find the passion for it, find the love for it, and then use the following years to really nail it and do some amazing things.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think with that, you kind of alluded a little bit to one of the platforms that I think is probably a game changer when it comes to editing podcasts, which is Resound. It's like, if you never heard of that platform, I think obviously AppSumo has an active deal right now that's kind of outside of Black Friday, but it's still an active deal. You definitely want to get on that because the problem with podcasts is people kind of get up in editing and removing every but or every or all the dead space, and some people don't even edit that out. This platform leverages AI to go in and remove all the buts, all the all the dead space at scale without you having to do anything. It literally processes that information, shows you where the cuts are, and then it consolidates that entire file. Then you can export out an MP3, which, for any podcaster that's been doing it for a while, that is sexy as hell. Like that's a game changing application.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better than that. And what's great about Resound is that we have the founder inside Podcast Launch Community Jacob is a phenomenal guy and is going to be doing some training with you at this event on editing and his workflow. So he's a professional audio engineer, the founder of Resonate Recordings and Resound, and he's going to be showing you exactly how to use this for your podcast. But what I found the other day was in the reviews and questions section of AppSumo, and the deal was somebody was using it to edit their audiobook. Genius.
Makes perfect sense.
Genius. So there's what I love about AppSumo is you find new use cases for the tool that you're using. So for me, I'd use it for podcast editing, but somebody else is going to use it for their course or audiobook to make it even cleaner for
100%.
their need. So yeah, I love Resound. I've seen it as a beta user 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's a fantastic product, great for right now.
Yeah, and I think I was part of that beta group originally, and I think the new features that they added on was like mastering. So that's the other thing too about audio. Like with us, we have equipment, and so the equipment makes our sound so much better. But there's still another level past that. How do you remove pops, clicks, hissing, static, like all the different things that kind of drives people in editing crazy. This platform also does that as well.
Yeah, I love it, and I've got tier 3 because I know I'm going to be using
Yeah,
a lot to edit, especially with these events. And
yeah.
I don't know how many hours, more than 30 hours of content there.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the math, right? I mean, 30 hours of content, 30 times 60, that's a lot of lot of content. And to the point, I think it also has what else comes with that 30 hours? It's like what, $150 for the 30 hours a month?
Yeah, and what else? Hours of 60-day project storage, 4-track, filter sound detection, and then updates on top of
Mm,
Resound when it as it improves as well. So 30 hours,
yeah,
147.
yeah. And the middle one is 10 hours, which is essentially 600 hours. So I want you to think about if you have a 30-minute podcast,
147.
I mean, and you do a podcast per week, you could easily
Did I
just
just
skate.
lose you?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Test 1, 2. So I can hear you if you can hear me. It's a beautiful thing about
You can hear me?
podcasts. Yeah, I can hear you. It never gets old. No matter how long you've been doing podcasts, there's always something that could go wrong at any given time. And just like that, we've lost our host. So, since I'm leading the pack right now, generally, if you have any general questions, feel free to put it in the chat. And again,
There we go.
I'm
Fantastic.
there we go.
In the perfect
I was getting
timing.
ready to go to like a audition. Yeah,
We just lost internet access. So you're joining at the perfect time, Blaine.
What's up, Chris? What's up, Grant?
hey, how you doing?
What's up?
Good.
Well, happy Black Friday. And thanks for joining the live event again to demo a very special tool we're both using. I'm going to be repurposing this event into a podcast live, like as fast as possible. So this demo is going to be going into the podcast very soon, and I've been using it for like mini podcasts. I love Castmagic, and I have had a little bit of a hard decision to make this last month to leave my role at Capshow because well, I just love Castmagic. So for those who don't know what Castmagic is, please can you explain what it is, and then we can go into a live demo.
Sure. Yeah. Happy to. Well, anyway, thanks so much for you guys having me on. basically what Castmagic is, it's an AI platform that takes long form audio content like podcasts or any other sort of long form audio media, etc. And it helps you A, transcribe it so you've got a transcript, but B, and more importantly, turn the context of that conversation or media file into any sort of content asset that you would want, from social media posts to blog posts, Twitter threads, social content, etc. So it's really a content repurposing and content drafting engine using AI to extract the value of your own content and use that to draft whatever it is that you need. So, I've got a podcast, as do you guys, and I'm sure you've know the challenges of taking longer form conversations and then saying, oh, we've had this great conversation, but how do we promote it? How do we extract all that information? And that was kind of like the idea behind why we wanted to build Castmagic, and we built it to solve all those problems for our podcast, and then started to grow a lot more and get a whole bunch of adoption. So yeah, that's a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the one thing that he did not mention, and I think for anyone that actually understands prompt engineering, the magic chat feature, pound for pound, changes what you can really create at scale with this platform. It is a total game changer.
We're top fans. I don't even know that much about custom prompts, so I'm glad that you have made it
Oh,
visible
yeah.
with the community prompts, because those are just easy copy and paste and maybe edit for my personal need, instead of what do I need to do? How do I write my own prompt? That is just a super helpful thing. So thanks for bringing that out, and I'm sure you've got news to share about what's coming. So do you want to get straight into a demo?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great.
How should I do it? Should I share my screen over here? Yeah,
Yeah,
there
yes,
we go.
please. So for
All
those,
right.
Castmagic is not on AppSumo at the moment, but maybe back, may not be back.
Maybe in the future. So yeah, we launched on AppSumo. It was super successful, and since then we've grown a whole bunch. But yeah, maybe in the future, maybe a quick appearance here or there. Okay, so I'll jump right into it. So basically, as I had mentioned before, Castmagic is your content repurposing hub. Any sort of audio or media content, you can bring it into Castmagic, and you can then use that content to draft whatever type of content assets you need. So as you can see here, I have a whole bunch of different ways to import content. So if I've got audio or video, I can upload the file if I have it locally on my machine. I can instantly pull in a video link from YouTube just by pasting the link. If I have Zapier, I can pull in content from anywhere, like a Dropbox or a Drive or anything like that. Reels, if I want to use Instagram Reels as context for content I might want to create, I can just paste the link in by pressing this button. And RSS, if I am a podcaster and I want to, bring in more content that has already been published, but say I want to repurpose content from my show, or maybe even there's other shows that I listen to and I want to bring that in, I can just sync an RSS feed and instantly be able to bring in content. So you see right here, this is synced with my podcast feed. So anytime an episode pops up, or even if I want to go back and import an old one, I can just import a really old one and bring it instantly into Castmagic. So that's a little bit about how you import content. And then once you've brought content into your workspace, the first thing we're going to give you is a transcript, which is broken out by all the different speakers. So it removes all the filler words, and you've got a nice, clean, sort of interactive transcript. If you press play, it'll play. You can hear who's talking, and you have some like audio controls here. And these are all the different speakers. And then from that transcript, you're able to generate all sorts of AI content. And when I say all sorts, I mean a ton of content. So in this example, you can see these content blocks, including, one sentence summary, customized titles, keywords, episode themes we talked about, timestamps from the show, bio about the speaker, an introduction, as well as like important clips that people have said at different times. But you can see kind of how long this page is, and it just goes and goes and goes. And I can stack not only all sorts of content items, but I can customize each one of these content blocks. So for example, this is a LinkedIn post based on my podcast recording that I'd uploaded. But if I wanted to change it and have it write in my own style to mimic the LinkedIn posts that I've submitted in the past, I can do that. So I can kind of scroll down and we can go on for a while, but really any sort of content asset that you'd want to be derived from a certain type of media file, you're able to do that and create those prompts here. If you don't like it, you can adjust it and give it an instruction for how you'd like it adjusted. Or if you want to fully customize the actual underlying prompt, you have the ability to do that as well. One quick shout out, which is something that that I find really useful, is using an example of a content item that works for you that you've actually written yourself and including that in the prompt. So right here, we can see this Twitter thread, for example. And if we actually go behind the scenes where you or anyone else can edit your own prompt, I've told it create a narrative tweet thread about the guest in this podcast in the following format. I kind of give it some instructions for what tone, and then I just give an example. I'm like, here's an example of one that I've written, and why don't you match that tone and style? And now it's instantly able to do that. So now not only do I have a tweet thread, but it's actually matching what I would have written myself had I had the time. So this takes my editing process and cuts it in more than half. I mean, just the amount of time it would take to draft like a really comprehensive tweet thread that matches my own style and covers a whole bunch would take me forever. And if I had an example of this that like didn't match that style, it would almost be useless because then I would have to go write the whole thing. So like there is such a thing of AI content that isn't good, but when AI content really works, it's like absolutely incredible. And that's kind of what we're striving for, is to generate the best and most accurate sorts of AI content dependent on whatever it is that the end user and customer needs. And then Chris and SA, as you guys were alluding to before, if we hop over here to Magic Chat, here I can basically just, it's basically like a Chat GPT instance that's rigged up to all the context from my episode. So I can ask for anything I want. I can get as creative as I want. And if I nail a prompt that I'm like, this could be useful for every piece of content that I bring into this space in the future, I can then, I can hit a button here which says save as prompt, and that means for everyone in the future you'll kind of see it on that last page that I had run. So this is really useful for if you want to create a one-off content piece that you're like, I only need it for this episode, I never need it again. You can write that here and you can do it. But if you're like, oh, you know what, this is really cool, I like having 10 lessons covered in this event, 5 words max for each one with a 20-word description, and I'm like, that's something I want to repeat every single time, I just hit the save button, and then I'm going to have that for every one of my episodes without having to go back and rewrite it, etc. And then I guess the last thing that I'd pause and kind of shout out that you guys had mentioned before, I know prompting, especially in the world of AI, can be a little bit overwhelming. So what we did was we built this section called community prompts. And what this does is it features and curates some of the prompts that everyone else has developed and has found success with. So if you don't know where to get started, you can just click community prompts. You can read kind of what the content asset is, what the prompt asks for. And if you're like, oh, this conversation feedback thing would be really useful for me, or, oh, I really would like having a session worksheet based off all my recordings, all you have to do is click the add to space button, and then it'll instantly add it into your space. You won't have to write it. And then if you do have some tweaking you want to do later, you're able to obviously edit it yourself. So, that's a little bit about Castmagic in 2 seconds. We transcribe it. We give you a whole bunch of content that you want. We give you flexibility to create additional content. And then the stuff that you really like, you can save and tweak to your own liking. So that's a little bit about how it works.
Yeah. Oh, SA Grant, you want to go first?
I mean, it's I'm speechless, right? I mean, obviously, if you're listening right now and this is your first time actually hearing about this platform, like this platform changes all aspects of what you're doing at scale. It's not just about podcasting. I want you to kind of think about the use case analysis for this, right? You can kind of create books on your podcast without having to think about it, right? You can create newsletters. You can create so many different things and variables that today's market, you're hiring multiple people to do it. And now essentially is one platform that can take one audio file and create all these different principles and all these different content sectors in the matter of seconds. I'm done.
Genius. I don't even want to know what's coming next, because I feel like you've already thought of it before. Usually I will request features or request things for the roadmap, but you've come up with all the things that I need it for. And I feel a little bit silly for uploading content when I can use the RSS feed function. I have been
Yeah, I
using
mean,
Castmagic for the last. I got the deal on AppSumo when it launched, but yeah, I'm using it at the basic level. I need to really go into it and get better at prompts and setting up workspaces. And there's even pages in the beta, so
Yeah.
haven't even
yeah,
explored that yet.
no, there's a whole bunch more you can do. Obviously, we kind of went over what Castmagic does at its core, but as you guys alluded to, it's if you can take the information that's in long form audio or media of any type and you can do it for a podcast, you can also do it for any other sort of type of media or audio that sits within your workflow. So as you can see over here on the left, we have these things that are called spaces. And basically what spaces are, you can think of as folders, but they have different AI purposes, right? So the one we're looking at here, purple, it has like little mic and it's DTC Pod, which is my podcast, and that's programmed to handle podcasts. But we also have, if you create a new space, and let's just name it, custom space, for example. I'm going to hit save, and you'll see immediately that I have the option to choose a YouTube space, a meeting space, a coaching space, a customer discovery space, or a sales call space, or course and webinar, or I can fully customize it. So really what this allows you to do is, say, for example, you have work meetings and you're like, the information that I cover in my work meetings is really productive. I have some sort of AI meeting transcriptions here and there, but I don't have a central place for all that content to live. And then I can't take that content and basically do my job with it. Castmagic can help you do that, right? Because you're able to import your meetings, you're able to get the transcription, and say you wanted to actually build lead magnets from what you had discussed on the meeting, or say you had a design jam session where you're talking about all the things that you want to do from a product perspective, and then you want to actually create a brochure out of it. Like, you're able to do stuff like that and actually put your long form audio and your meetings and your courses or your YouTube videos, you can put it to work for you, which is really, really amazing. And like we said, you can do customer discovery. So there's a lot of people who maybe work with client facing or service businesses where they're interacting with customers and they want to take those customer calls and be able to process what's inside them, like automate follow up with their leads or their clients. You're able to do that. You're able to do it for sales, for coaches. If you work with clients, you can do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I love it. And you've thought, yeah, it's not just for podcasters. It's for all of those and more, because you can do the custom feature. What is pages?
Yeah, pages. Let's go to pages. So and one thing that you just said about it kind of being for everyone is, we realize that, like, I host a podcast, but I also do all these other sort of things. I work with media in a lot of different ways within my workflow, right? So one example of that is some of the stuff that I had just described, but I may even have a creator that, like, I like listening to their podcast, and I'm like, how are they creating content? Like, what's their tone like? What's their conversation breakdown like? And I might use that as inspiration for the content that I'm going to record in the future. So a lot of different ways to work with content. Now let's definitely jump over to pages, because Chris, it is a great feature and one that we're really excited about. So what pages is it gives you the ability to create content with context from multiple recordings. So what I had just showed you before was like, okay, how do we create all this content that works really well on one episode at like a singular episode level? But and this is something that's really useful for me having a podcast, or anyone else who has any sort of media or content library. I might want to do something like, for example, if we click in here, I might want to create for my podcast, we talk about building e-commerce brands. What if I wanted to create a consumer goods and e-commerce brand launch playbook, right? And what if I wanted to pull multiple episodes, so not just one topic, into that playbook as a foundation piece for how to create it? And that's what Pages allows for. So what you're able to do when you create a page is you go over here, new page, you select any of the recordings that you want to use as context to build your page, which could be any content asset that you'd like. And then after you've selected those, you create a prompt, you ask for what you want, and you hit generate. And that's how you're able to draft a page or a content asset that has inputs from multiple different sources. And what's really cool about that is like here you can even see we're citing where each one of these different ideas came from. So if I'm like, let's put together this playbook about how to launch a brand, I have different clarify your vision and mission and all the details that come with that came from our episode with Jennifer Bett. Identifying your customer target and how to research and understand their challenges, that came from JT. So like it's able to really synthesize and bring everything together in a really cohesive way, which is just a very powerful tool to have.
Yeah, me and SA were talking maybe a month ago about me writing a book or doing writing a couple of books. And I know SA this year you've been focusing a lot on writing and publishing a lot of books. This is going to be this is a game changer. This has saved my life, and it's based on my content. It's not based on something generic like you would get from ChatGPT. This is content that's already produced. And Castmagic is just amplifying it and giving it the context.
I want to paint a picture for the listener to kind of think about if they're familiar with the book Tools of Titan, right? It's kind of like you're looking at the behind the scenes of what someone had to do with a group of people being done through a system that you can repeat over and over again. So technically speaking, you can write an entire library of tools of multiple Titans essentially overnight.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point, because as one of the inspirations for the product was not only our own kind of content workflow, but like we really looked up to some of the biggest and best creators in the digital space. So like someone like Gary Vaynerchuk, who has like an entire media team behind him and is like filming content, creating content, putting out like playbooks and creating 100 different content pieces from like one keynote speech he may have given, right? So that was kind of like inspiration, saying like, how can we create a content engine to match someone who's like investing, several $100,000 a year producing content? And how can we use AI to help us get there when we tried paying agencies, it wasn't cutting it, and we didn't have the budget to like fully invest into like a $500,000 content strategy? How could you still produce 100 pieces of great content about the stuff that you're putting out? Because when you are consistent in putting out content, and when you put out high quality content, you mix those two things together, you're going to grow whatever business it is you're running. So when you have a system and you can stack that on top of the stuff that you're already doing and you can be repeatable, you're able to really grow businesses. And this has been kind of what has been at the crux of why are we building Castmagic. It's to give anyone who's using it an entire content team in their pocket.
And they're much quicker than a virtual assistant or a team. This is a lightning fast bit of kit, and I don't know what service you're using or how you're using it, but I mean it's fairly not instant, but it's quicker than 10 minutes. It doesn't take that much time to process, and the prompts don't take either. So I don't know what you're using. Do you want to share what you're using to help with the with the software
I'm
founder?
happy to. So I think one of the really exciting things with AI is you've got all these different AI providers that are competing across all these different spaces to do different jobs. So for the job that we're doing, we work with several different providers in the background. So for example, the people who are, or the products and services that we're using in the background to process and transform our audio into the text transcripts that you've seen, that's a whole different process from the content generation that you're seeing. So basically the way we think about it is, okay, what are you trying to accomplish? What language are you trying to accomplish it in? What style are you trying to get to? And then based on whatever you're trying to do, we're able to turn the content into whatever the end customer wants. And we're able to kind of build the background services that can communicate and generate what it is that the end customer needs.
Yeah, I love that. And we've got another founder on right now. So Austin, meet Blaine. Blaine, meet Austin.
What's up,
Hi,
Austin?
Blaine.
How's
Nice
it
to
going?
meet you.
Likewise.
Have you been watching the demo of Castmagic, Austin?
I have not. I'm in back-to-back meetings, unfortunately, so I got to catch this replay.
No, that's totally fine. You definitely need to check out the last half an hour. I'll get that to you so you can see exactly how to use it. But I would describe Austin as a Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, I'm honored.
I love that.
Wow. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you're all over the place. And yeah, thank you for being here and demoing your product next. And so, SA, did you have any questions on the pages feature of Castmagic?
Well, I mean, I think being that it's in beta, it means that your roadmap is live and active. I mean, anything that you want to kind of talk about that potentially is coming down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the reason we've got in beta is we want to push out products that can benefit our customers as quickly as possible. And I think with AI, right, it's tricky. Sometimes it's not perfect, but I know that the amount of value that someone can get out of it is massive. So that's kind of why we pushed it out a little on the early side, and people have responded really well to it. But in terms of roadmap and other things that are really exciting, anyone who downloads Castmagic also gets access to our iOS app, which is really cool and pairs really well with our platform. So what Castmagic iOS is an audio capture device that you can put in your pocket and take with you anywhere. So say, for example, you wanted to record in like an IRL sort of meeting or a coffee chat or something like that, and you don't have your handy Zoom notes taker with you or anything like that, you can just open up your phone, hit tap to record. It'll record the whole conversation, and it'll sync actually with your entire Castmagic workspace. So you've got a whole space here that's iOS recording, so you can see the recordings come in there. And again, all the functionality works the same. So you can use this for things like in-person meetings, but you could also use it for just capturing content if you're walking down the street and you want to like ramble into your phone on a walk for different things that you want to get done for the week. Or if you're having a brainstorming session and you're in person, you can just capture it on your phone. We find it really exciting because then people are like blending content. So even that pages feature that I showed you guys, like I could pull in a voice recording that I've done on my phone. I could pull in a reel that I've pulled in from Instagram. I can pull in a YouTube video and 2 podcasts, and I can source the context from across all of those different media sources and then say, hey, build me a launch strategy for how I want to like run this motion or whatever it is that I'm doing on the business side of things. So again, like I said, we want to be able to support any sort of media, and capture and iOS capture just is a really valuable way to bring in content that's happening outside of like the computer world into your workspace. So yeah, that's it. And then I guess in terms of other things on the roadmap, like our North Star is just how do we make the content as A, accurate as possible, and B, as close to you as humanly possible, right? So those are always like the North Stars. So it's just increasing speed, accuracy, and we want it so when you're providing the AI with your own sort of context and your own things that are unique to you, we want the AI to do the best job of being able to create the content to the point where you're like, I did the hard work of providing all the insights to the AI, and the AI just got exactly what I would have spent hours creating myself, as if I had actually done it myself, done in a matter of seconds. So those are kind of North Stars, and we've got a whole bunch of product coming to support this ecosystem that you've kind of seen.
What came to mind is Austin creates a lot of TikTok videos of the best AI tools on the internet. So uploading all of those videos to Castmagic and then creating a playbook or whatever he wants to do with it, he's got that option, and he's got all those tools and all those. Oh wow! I'm just seeing what Austin can do, but I know Austin could do way more.
We're going to be
way more than.
If you stack these 3 websites together, you're going to explode on the internet. Adds right in.
You need to do a video for Castmagic.
Yes.
That's another conversation.
That's so fun.
Oh, but Blaine, you're going to be joining us again during the event. So I think we've got next Monday. So we're going to have some members of the community joining in to ask you some questions, really get into Castmagic a little bit more, and then do another demo. So I'm really excited to see you again.
Sweet.
And maybe show you the progress of the podcast and the behind the scenes of Castmagic from my end.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Great. I will see you soon and catch up with you on email.
Okay.
See you next Monday.
See you guys. Bye.
Cool. Have a good one.
Bye. Wow, that's fantastic. Oh, I love it. What a great way to kickstart this Black Friday event. Although not on AppSumo anymore, they were a super successful deal, and we want to see them back. So AppSumo, if you're listening, you are listening because this event is sponsored by you. Get them back on AppSumo as soon as possible. Now, this Black Friday event is to celebrate my love for AppSumo, my love for some founders, and some amazing deals, and just have a really good time. So some of the deals that are going to be at this event are not on AppSumo, are on AppSumo, and that we want on AppSumo. So welcome, Austin.
Sly segue there, Chris. Yeah.
Anyway, I've known you for the same amount of time that I've known AppSumo, maybe just a few months more than AppSumo, because you joined my podcast, my first ever podcast. You were episode 27. AppSumo was episode 50. So, yeah, I have more loyalty to you. How crazy is that? But it's been a really fun journey to have SA by my side, you by my side, both as mentors, as friends, and I can't wait to see what the next 2 years holds for us. But I've seen your growth from the TikTok guy to now the software founder. And tell me a little bit more about what your journey has been like over those last 2 years.
It's been looking back, it's been a wild ride. It's been awesome. I mean, 2 years ago, I really got started on TikTok about 4 years ago as a way to promote my business, which at the time is a social media marketing agency, and I used it as a tool to promote SEO services, video marketing services. And it just started to grow. Nobody was creating SEO oriented content well on TikTok at the time, and I was trying to make SEO sexy and fun, and make it for the TikTok platform. TikTok's all about, like, don't make ads, make TikTok. So it's all about learning the cadence of the platform and adopting to that. And so, that really led me to being the TikTok guy for the first couple of years. I gained a large following on there. And it got to a point where I didn't want to just be the TikTok guy. Maybe a little ego involved here on my end, but TikTok is seen as like the easiest platform to grow on social media. And I wanted more respect than that. I wanted to be a well-established, respected social media marketer, a digital marketer in every capacity. And so I started to take what I learned from short form video on TikTok and kind of lucked out with the market, if I'm being honest. Like, TikTok, exploded, and then all of these other platforms followed suit. YouTube rolled out YouTube Shorts when Instagram was banned in India, and then followed by Instagram Reels, and then followed by Facebook Reels, and now every platform supports short form vertical video. And so I really just got really good at short vertical video from an edutainment perspective, right? Kind of, educational, interesting. You're going to take value away from the videos, but it's also kind of silly and entertaining to some degree as well. And so I started to grow on all of these other platforms. I've had, over the last 2 years, tremendous success on YouTube. I exploded. In the year and a half, I went from 5,000 YouTube subscribers to I'm almost at 600,000 YouTube subscribers now. Facebook exploded in the last year and a half from just, I transitioned my personal profile of just friends and family, and I sacrificed my friends and family for reach. And so I went from just the friends and family to I'm about to hit 1 million followers on Facebook, which is my #1 platform right now, which is mind-boggling. And never in a million years would I think that I'd get the most interaction on Facebook. Just this past week, I hit 500,000 Instagram followers, and it's been absolutely wild ride. Segueing that into what I'm doing now, about 2 years ago, I really had found out that the content that was getting me the most amount of engagement, traction, virality, was sharing useful websites. 5 useful websites that feel illegal to know is a series that really exploded for me online. And I used that to generate a large affiliate revenue recurring commissions every month. A lot of the websites that I promote and I share, I'm an affiliate for, and I'll get 20, 30, 40, 50% recurring commissions of sales of that. And so it popped into my head at one point, well, I'm getting commissions and so many commissions promoting these other websites. It only makes sense for me to start my own software so I could get 100% of the commissions. Like, I want to control everything. And so I kind of built, I did this a little bit backwards. I kind of built the audience and the personal brand and the trust and authority before I actually built a software. So that as soon as the software was built, then I could point my audience towards it and put my personal brand behind it. A lot of people do it the traditional like venture capital route, where they come up with an idea and they kind of bootstrap it as far as they can, but then they have to get into an accelerator or raise venture capital funding in order to actually build the tool and then figure out how to market the tool. And it worked really well for us. So I guess about a year and a half ago, I had originally come up with the idea of Syllabi, and the idea just started from, all of the pain points and emotional triggers that a business owner faces, all of the reasons why they would hire my marketing agency at the time, and the objections of why they couldn't hire my agency at the time. So, every business owner knows that they need to market themselves on social media at this point. That's no secret anymore. This has been around for 18, 19 years. But they don't know often what topics to create. They don't know what to say on camera. They need help staying consistent and accountable. Maybe they don't like being on camera themselves. And maybe they don't have the budget to hire an expensive marketing agency or hire an internal team, or have the time to figure out all of these things and tools online to do all of this successfully themselves. And so I took that idea and we created Syllabi. Syllabi is basically a streamlined solution to successful video marketing on social media. It's a very light version of what my agency does. I kind of jokingly but semi-seriously think that I've built the tool to put my business out of business. The ultimate vision for and not to, there's always going to be room for agencies, so don't hate on me, agency owners, but this is a streamlined solution that business owners can pay 1/100th of the cost of what an agency charges. And you can find the topics your customers are searching for. You can know exactly what to say on camera. You can create videos without even needing to be on camera. You can schedule them and mark as complete so you can stay consistent and accountable. You can edit the videos and you can publish them directly to your social media profiles and platforms. And that's essentially everything that an agency does. And so I'll use that segue into doing a quick demo here of Syllabi, but that was a long-winded rant. Any
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's important to go back to the origin of it and why you even came up with the solution in the first place. So it's important to, and other founders are going to be talking about their origin story as well on this event. So it's good to know that you do want to you wanted to create this solution, but what you mentioned about doing it backwards, I think you did it the right way. Build the audience, build the personal brand, and then think, oh, instead of me taking 25% commissions, let's take the whole lot and create my own solution. And it's done really well. And I've seen you go from 500 users to 5,000 users. I don't know what you're up to now, but it's insane growth in the last year. Didn't you launch in January?
Yeah, we launched the MVP January 25th, and here we are, still less than a year in, and it's been very successful. We have a team of 20 people already, and the strategy worked.
Yeah, the strategy worked. So for anybody out there who's building a personal brand, who's building an audience, don't just think about it as, oh, you're just creating content because you could. expand your horizons and start your own software company and be like Austin?
Well, I could go off. This isn't directly related. I could go off on a long-winded tangent about this, but as content creators, and if you develop, becoming an influencer on social media, it's important to diversify your income streams and building tools and solutions and downloadables and coaching, whatever around the things that you're an expert in, right? So that you never want to be dependent on one source of income. Can you productize your expertise? That is something that I don't remember where I first heard that, but that really stuck with me. And so I've really tried over the last couple of years to productize my expertise from courses to digital downloads to now Syllabi, a software, which is based on my repeatable processes and my expertise of being a social media marketer for the last 18 years. So think about that, users, founders, creators, business owners, how can you further productize what you're an expert at?
Boom. Yep. Makes sense. That's why I have a course on AppSumo. Promote a lot of tools, do these events, do the podcasts. I mean, there's so much more to come from me and so much more to come from all of us and from the podcast launch community. So stay around, stick with us, and we all rise together.
Absolutely.
So
I think his statement I think his statement was one of those things for any entrepreneur or anyone that's deciding to jump into digital marketing. That was worth the price of entry by itself. Like the fact that you showed up today to listen to this particular 2-hour session, that chunk of information was priceless.
Well, thank you for that.
Okay, let's do a demo of Syllabi and show off the tool.
Yeah. So how do I share my screen here? Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay. And share system audio. Perfect. Okay. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay. So welcome to Syllabi, where we make video marketing effortless. Everything from brainstorming, creating, and sharing your content across everything. I want to do two quick call to actions here. We're launching on Product Hunt very soon. So if anybody is interested in on Product Hunt, we would love your support on that as we launch on there. And for the rest of this month, we're actually discounting all of our yearly plans by 50%. We just rolled these pricing plans out. In fact, the last 10 months, there was only one price point for Syllabi anywhere on the web. But right now, as a thank you to everybody, extended Black Friday, Cyber Monday, thank you to Chris and all of the AppSumo users out there, we are discounting these yearly packages by 50%. These are by far the lowest, most affordable prices that it ever has been and likely ever will be. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up using Chris's affiliate link. But so upon signing up for Syllabi, this is something that I've really wanted to get across is that, there are a lot of AI tools out there. There are a lot of somewhat similar AI tools out there that help you create content. One of the things that makes Syllabi different and unique and powerful is that it's not just a suite of tools, it's a methodology. It's a step-by-step process for success online. And it all starts by finding out what your customers are searching for online. So I love to roll with an example of like a mortgage broker, for instance. We have a real estate agent. If you're a mortgage broker, a loan officer, and you want to create content for veterans that are interested in VA loans, and you can do this for any industry. All you need to do is click on Discover Ideas after searching that in. And it's going to show you first all of the questions and topics that people are searching for online about that particular topic. You can type in a service that you offer, a reason or emotional pain point that someone would come to you for in the first place. and it's going to show you all of these ideas with data to back it up as well. So we can see, what is a VA loan? Are VA loans assumable? How does a VA loan work? How to get a VA loan? How many times can you use a VA loan? These are all targeted content ideas that you can create content around that that your users are actually searching for as well. Quick digress here. I digress here for a second. All social media, the reason we do it this way is that all social media platforms are search engines. This is a newer methodology. People are going to TikTok, people are going to YouTube, people are going to Instagram to find answers to questions because Google is super saturated and inflated with ads, and it's a long-term SEO game and whatnot. People buy from people they trust. And if you, as the expert that you are, entrepreneur, business owner that you are creating content around the questions your customers are searching for, you build that know, like, and trust much faster. They know you because you continue to show up. They like and trust you because you're answering content questions that specifically resonate with the questions they're asking and the emotional pain points that they're facing. And so let's go with one of these. So if you like, how many times can you use a VA loan? You can just click on that and it'll take you into the next step of the journey. And so we support multiple languages right now. We are rolling out multiple languages soon. All you need to do is click on generate outline. Also, if you ever get lost along the way, there's video tutorials on every page as well. Try to make it as simple as possible. But all you need to do is click on generate outline here. And this is where artificial intelligence starts to come in. It just takes a quick second to populate that outline. All right, so we have our question here. We have our outline. And then you have full control over the script as well. So we can choose explainer, tutorial, product demo, testimonial, social media videos. You can choose the tone of voice that suits your brand. Maybe we want to switch this to professional. And then you can choose the length of the video script as well. If you want to focus on short form content, or if you want to focus on a longer video for a YouTube video or a training video or anything like that. I'm going to do 60 to 85 seconds here. And then all you need to do is click on generate script. And this will take another couple of seconds to actually generate. We're generating a video script around this outline for the questions that your customers are searching for. Boom. Okay. So we have our video script here. The video scripts are generated as well based on proven winning scripts. A strong opening hook that's related to the topic at hand, addressing a problem associated with that topic, providing a solution to that topic, and a call to action at the end. This is the best structure for an educational video script based on probably close to 10,000 videos created and posted. And so you can, of course, go in and edit this and add your customization as much as you want. While we've made this as much of an out-of-the-box solution as possible, I always like to recommend that use AI to save time, not as a 100% replacement. So, if you want to add your company name, tweak this language a little bit, please do that. Add your unique flair and expertise in there. And so now that this script is generated, what's the next step? We can create a video. And so a lot of people don't like being on camera. And so we've included some avatars in here. We're constantly adding new avatars. And we actually do have the technology to create an avatar of you. Right now, this is a manual backend process, but we're working through some user flows so that you'll be able to create your own avatar that looks and sounds like you and has your mannerisms as well. That's a feature that we'll be rolling out soon, and is a good reason to get the yearly discounted price, because that will be included in there. But you can choose any one of these avatars that you want. You can choose the voices that you want here, and you can sample all of them. You can choose the different background colors here if you want, and it also previews it here for you before it's generated. And then all you need to do is click on generate, and this video will generate. Now this takes about 5 minutes to actually generate an avatar. So I'm going to show you one that's actually already been generated. And let's see here. I think this one is generated under, there we go. Perfect. Okay. So if you think about it, in less than 5, maybe 10 minutes tops, we've found the questions that your customers are searching for. We generated an outline and a video script that has the tone of voice of your brand, and we've created a video. Now we can actually download that video. We can copy the link to send it. We can edit the video, or we can directly publish it. I'm going to quickly show you the video editor that we have built in here so you can see how that looks. So we're working on enhancing this as well, but right now we do have this video editor where you can adjust the format if you want to make this vertical instead of horizontal. It's a very intuitive drag and drop editor like so. You can add text or headlines or anything there. And adjust that, oops, adjust that something like that. We also have stock imaging and B-roll in here. You also can upload everything as you want and customize this video. When you're happy with it, you could just click save on there. I'm just going to go back here. And when you're happy with your video, you can click on publish. And you can connect your social media accounts. Just going to add test here, or you can click suggest me post content, and this will use AI to write a description for you. Currently, we have YouTube and TikTok publishing accessible in there. Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn are coming very soon. But you can add your title of your video, tags on here, visibility. This is a sample of what it will look like on the actual platform on YouTube or on TikTok. You can see that preloaded here. And then some of our other features as well. So we have the connect here, for instance. So this is where you can connect YouTube or TikTok accounts so that you can publish it directly from there. We have the content calendar in here with several views. So this is the list view where you can sort of stay on track of everything as a project management tool. So if I say I publish this video, I can mark this as complete, and that marks that as done. Or you can switch this to calendar view and see all of your content on a calendar view, and then you can easily just go back in here and edit that piece of content as you like as well. Now let's say, last thing that I'll quickly show here, let's say you don't like the Discover Ideas page. You have a bunch of topics or questions that customers have already been searching, have already told you or asked. You've already done your own research. No problem. You don't have to use the Discover Ideas page. You can go to calendar and you can schedule your own idea here, and we can say why Chris is so awesome. Let's see what happens here if I schedule this. So I can go into this piece of content. This will be an interesting test. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. with no context of who Chris is. Let's see if it generates a script on this. Why Chris is so awesome. Let's swap this for...
Why is he awesome? Flick the question.
Ever wondered why Chris is such a standout? His unique blend of talent, skills, and dynamic personality are hard to match. But that's not all. His groundbreaking achievements have left an indelible mark on everybody. Curious? Stick around as we unravel and pay tribute to Chris's awesomeness. If this piques your interest, don't hesitate to leave a comment and send a message to learn more.
How does it know me?
Yeah, it's just perfect about you specifically, Chris. But that's essentially where the platform is today. We've created a tool that helps you streamline video marketing on social media so that you can do more of what you're an expert at. Do more of what you love. Focus more on your business, because social media can be taxing, time consuming, and expensive. And with Syllabi, we try to make it really easy for you. I'm happy to answer any questions about this as well.
Yeah, I got a million questions. I guess my first question off bat is, it's obviously a great platform. Where do you guys see as far as a long-term integration, as far as automation, like if someone wants to connect it to another platform to kind of capture that content and create these videos on demand? Where do you stand with that?
Yeah, we're doing a couple things on that. So we're working on a web browsing integration so that you can just input your website, and it scans your website and inputs content ideas based on all of the services that you offer to make it even more customized and simpler. And I'll kind of tease this. So this is coming out in about 2 weeks, maybe less than that. Hopefully, we built a Chrome extension that's a YouTube summarizer. And so what it does, and this is phase 1, but phase 2, I'll tease you as well. What you're able to do with this Chrome extension is you can go to any YouTube video in your niche. And with the Chrome extension, it'll give you the transcript, it'll give you a summary, it'll give you bullet pointed summary points and key takeaways. And so you can consume educational YouTube content much, much faster. Now, phase 2 of that extension is going to be plugging it directly into Syllabi. So you could go to a competitor's YouTube channel, for instance, and create multiple videos based off of the key takeaways from their video, and automatically create content in the Syllabi's flow as well. The goal for this is our big vision for Syllabi is to create 30 days of social media videos in 5 clicks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
5 clicks. Jeez.
Yeah. I guess another general question, and I'm trying to think of it from a listener standpoint. Is there going to be any other integration as far as like RSS feeds or like blog integration? I mean, I know you were talking about on the front end connecting directly to websites, but let's say if there's an actual syndicated stream, is that going to be an option?
It could be. We have our own. We have our own article writer. We took it off right now to enhance it. We're working on a lot of enhancements on that so that the articles that it spits out are actually SEO friendly. In theory, it's a great idea connected to like a blog RSS feed on your website, and so it's just a constant flow of topic ideas and content that you could create. I think that's a really cool idea. There's a million backlog product ideas that we're always brainstorming about. I think that fits right in. I mean, at the end of the day, our vision and mission for this thing is to just make video marketing for business owners as easy as possible. And if that adds in and that's of interest to people, I think we could 100% add that.
Got it.
And at the last event, you mentioned something about introducing a teleprompter into Syllabi as well. Is that coming soon as well?
Not soon. That is on our product roadmap as well. In fact, this morning we were discussing, we're also working on the ability to upload your own video. So if you don't want to use the avatars, for instance, you just want the topics, the outline, the video script, the teleprompter would fit right in. So if you want to be the face of your brand, right now you can absolutely just take that script and record it yourself and publish that video. But we want to have Syllabi as that one-stop shop. So we're working through that as well. So you could take the script, have a teleprompter prompt up, record the actual video, and then all of the other steps within Syllabi of editing and publishing it directly to your social media profile. So those are things we actually discussed this morning and we're working on. So hopefully very early next year, I think we could roll that out.
Perfect.
And I know we have spoken to AppSumo for a different deal, but would you consider joining AppSumo with Syllabi?
We would have to talk about it. Again, I don't know if an LTD deal makes total sense. for all features, perhaps a simplified spin-off version of it. But right now, probably not. Sorry, AppSumo.
This is you're supposed to say yes. It's an AppSumo event.
I love that. I love AppSumo. I've used it quite a lot. I'm an affiliate for AppSumo. I've purchased products through AppSumo over the years, and yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I would just want it to be a good fit, right? Because even our yearly plans are more expensive without the 50% discount. So like, get the 50% discount right now. It's like cheapest it's ever going to be, guys. But the typical yearly price points are higher than some of the LTD lifetime deals that I've seen on AppSumo. And so even if we did a lifetime deal at one of those price points, I just don't know if it would, like, I trust the power of AppSumo, of course, but I don't know how well it would convert if they had a very pricey LTD.
Yeah, I got you.
Mhm.
Well, maybe that's a maybe then. But thank you for joining me for the first day of this live event. We're not
Absolutely.
doing the whole 12-hour marathon or 6-hour marathon. We're just doing 2 hours a day. That way, nobody gets burnt out, and we can look after our health. What I have learned from doing these events is that I need to prioritize my health a lot more than I have been. So 2 hours is very achievable. Thanks for joining me for the first day and kicking this off with a bang. We do have a surprise. Syllabi will be back for the event at a later point to answer some more questions. The community is going to join and ask some more questions. So excited for that. And maybe we'll have some more surprises for you. But until then, thank you, SA, for joining me on live stream. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in for day one. And get ready for day 2 with 4 live AppSumo deals or 3 live AppSumo deal demos. Bye for now.